Hello again, everybody. This is Julian Gooding coming to you from the Wando Mount Pleasant Library, but providing some wonderful storytelling during this time of social distancing. And I decided to come out here and get some fresh air out here in the park by myself. And I brought some more of my percussion instruments that I want to share with you and tell you a wonderful story. So this right here is called a balafone. A balafone is one of my favorite instruments. It's an African instrument, and it is the grandfather of what we would know as the xylophone. So the balafone sounds like this. It has the mallets and there you go. Now the balafone is one of my favorite instruments, like I said, and I'm kind of sitting in a weird position to play it, but we understand. But it has this wonderful, beautiful sound, and underneath the balafone there are gourds, and these gourds that are under the balafone help the balafone to resonate and make the beautiful sound carry around the room, or in this case, outside, and hopefully the birds will sing along with us. But I wanted to share a story with you about gourds, and I have some gourds here. This is a little gourd here, and these gourds are going to be used to tell a story, and the name of this story is The Old Man and the Three Magic Gourds. Now, once upon a time, there was an old man, and this old man was so grumpy that he never was able to find a wife, have children, raise a family, and help him with his farm. His farm really wasn't that big, but it was just a little too big for him to manage by himself. So one night, after being so exhausted working on his farm, he said a prayer, and he asked for someone to please make his life better, if at all possible. And so when he went to sleep that night, there in his room were three magic gourds. 1, 2, 3. Now, these magic gourds turned into children, and these children went outside to help the old man with his farm. And they took care of planting seeds and pulling vegetables and taking care of the barn and feeding the goats. And they even went in the house and they cleaned his house that hadn't been cleaned for many, many months. And they made him breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And for the first time, the old man went to sleep and he was happy. The next morning, he woke up and the three magic gourds turned back into children, and they went outside and they took care of his garden. They took care of planting flower seeds and fixing up the barn and painting around the house and caring for the old man. And this went on and on and on for many, many weeks. That after a while, the old man made so much money by taking things like the fruits and the vegetables and the flowers to the market and selling them. So one day, while the old man was gone to the market to sell all of the extra fruits and vegetables, the three children heard a knock at the door. And it was an old lady. And the old lady said, "I am so hungry. Is there anything that you have for me to eat?" And the children said, "Yes, we have plenty." So one of the children ran and got some vegetables and filled up a big basket. One of the children even got some of the goat's milk cheese that they made from milking the goats. And one of the children said, "We'll even go back to your house and help you clean and plant a garden so you won't go hungry ever again." And so the children went skipping along to help the old lady take care of her house. And so when the old man returned from the market with all the money that he had made, he looked around and the children were nowhere to be found. And he shouted, "Children, where are you? Where are you?" And no one answered. And he looked inside the house and he looked in the barn, and nothing had been taken care of that day. He'd wondered, where have these children gone? They're supposed to be here taking care of the farm. And just then the children came running back into the house, skipping and singing and dancing, and they were so happy. And the old man got mean and he said, "Where were you children?" And the children said, "There was an old lady who came to the door and she was hungry. So I gave her some of the food that we had grown on our farm." And the old man screamed and he shouted, "How dare you give away the food from my farm? I didn't give you permission to do that." And the children looked sad. And one of the little children started to cry. And he ran back into the house. And he turned back into a gourd. And the other child said, "But we took some seeds and we planted a garden so that she would never go hungry." And he started to scream and shout again, "How dare you take seeds from my garden? Those seeds are mine. They're making me lots and lots of money." And the little girl ran back into the house, crying, and she turned back into a gourd. And the third child said, "But we cleaned her house and we took care of her and we showed her and how to make wonderful meals and we wanted her to be happy like you." And he screamed and shouted, "You're only supposed to make me happy, not anyone else." And that child ran back into the house and cried and turned back into a gourd. And the old man said, "I don't care. I have lots of money now. I have a wonderful farm." And that night when he went to sleep, the 3 gourds disappeared. And they were no longer in the house. And when the old man woke up, he said, "Oh, I don't mind. I'll take care of the garden myself." And when he went outside and tried to take care of the garden himself, it was hard work. And he remembered, "Oh, I needed those children." And then after a while, all the money ran out. He didn't have that much vegetables and fruits and flowers to sell anymore. And the goats were going hungry, and his hands were tired from milking the goats, and he didn't know how to make the cheese. The children did all of that for him. And so the old man realized, by screaming and shouting at the children, he ran them away. And that's what he did wrong. And he sat there, feeling sad. And just then, there was a knock on the door. It was that little old lady who the children took care of. She said, "I wanted to bring some of this wonderful fruits and vegetables and flowers to you for those beautiful children that helped me and took care of me. I wanted to share. Are they here?" And he said, "No, they're no longer here." And he told her the story. But you know what? The old lady understood that the old man really did feel in his heart that he did wrong. And she saw something in him that no one ever saw before. He really was a nice guy. And so the two of them, just like in all the fairy tales and the stories, shared all of those wonderful flowers and fruits and vegetables, and they helped to grow a farm together. And that's the story of the old man and the 3 magic gourds. So this is a great story where it's not just for children. This is an African tale that is more so for adults. See, you have to be kind to your children while they're young and as they get older, and you're teaching them to be kind so that one day when you become old, somebody will be there to take care of you.